Like a phoenix, Samsung's beloved Galaxy Note is back from the ashes. Now with two main cameras, can it shoot better photos? Does it have enough features to justify a higher price tag? And more importantly, is it safe?
Hello from New York City, I'm Michael Josh, and you're watching Gadget Match. They say any kind of publicity is good publicity. And while there's no denying the fact that last year's missteps hurt Samsung as a brand, the events surrounding the Note 7 make this year's comeback even more anticipated. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about the Note 8, so fasten your seatbelts, hit that subscribe button, and let's get on with our Galaxy Note 8 hands-on.
So this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Massive amounts of leaks notwithstanding, there really are no surprises here. It's exactly what we imagined the Note 8 would look like, an evolution of last year's design, which, just like the S8 from earlier this year, has a near borderless curved display that is taller and narrower. Shaving off some width gives the phone an unconventional aspect ratio, 18.5 by 9, instead of the usual 16 by 9. So unlike the iPhone 7 Plus, Xperia XZ Premium, or the Huawei Mate 9, this large phone is easier to wrap your hands around. The Note 8 is Samsung's biggest flagship, although it's only ever so slightly larger than the S8 Plus. The main difference is that the Note 8 looks more squarish, with corners that are less rounded than on the S8 or the S8 Plus. This form factor makes it a more ideal writing surface, and makes room down here for this cavity that houses the Note 8's defining feature, a stylus called the S Pen. Otherwise, it's the same all-glass phone, with curved sides that give the impression of a display that doesn't have either a start or an end. From all angles, there's no denying that this is a good-looking phone. And while we like the look of the S8 better, the Note 8 is still one of the best-looking phones you can buy today. Some other design notes while we're at it: there's a new protective stand cover that's supposedly made tough based on US military standards. So apparently, you can do stuff like this. And this. There's a dedicated button on the left for Bixby, Samsung's personal digital assistant, which is still non-configurable, unfortunately. Above that, volume buttons. On the right, a lone power button. On top of the phone, a SIM card slot, which is either single or dual SIM depending on your region, with provisions for a micro SD card of up to 256 gigabytes. And on the bottom, yep, you can heave a sigh of relief, there's a headphone jack, plus a USB-C port, speaker grills, and the S Pen slot. Even if there's a cavity for the S Pen, Samsung guarantees the Note 8 is water and dust resistant. Nothing new here, but we had to give it a try, as always. The screen still works while wet, so does the S Pen. And if your ports are exposed to water for too long, you'll get this warning, reminding you not to charge the phone until it dries. Also in change is Samsung's slew of security features. Apart from the usual pin and pattern are the usual suspects. A pretty fast fingerprint sensor still awkwardly placed beside the camera, but now with a flash module in between, and a bit more indentation, making the camera lens a little less susceptible to accidental smudging. There's still facial recognition, which based on our tests is still spoofable with a photo. See here. But there's a new setting which makes spoofing a pain. The most secure way of locking your phone, however, is of course the iris scanner, and we didn't notice any difference either in terms of unlock times or accuracy. Not that we had any complaints before, it still works like a charm. Either of the biometrics options can also be used in conjunction with Android Pay and Samsung Pay if that service is available in your region. Probably the newest Note 8 feature is its new camera, or should I say, cameras. With the Note 8, Samsung is finally jumping on the dual camera bandwagon. Samsung execs tell Gadget Match they didn't want to do it until they could pull off something others haven't been able to do with the technology. And so on the Note 8, both cameras get optical image stabilization instead of the just main shooter. This should come in handy when shooting close-ups using the phone's new 2x optical zoom lens. This is what the Note 8's dual camera setup looks like on paper. This is a standard lens, this is a zoom lens. Both are 12 megapixels that differ only in the amount of light each one lets in. f1.7 on the main shooter, and f2.4 on the telephoto lens. Theoretically, the main camera should perform better in low light. When you start up the camera, you get the option to use either Bixby Vision, Live Focus, or stickers. Bixby Vision and stickers work just like on the S8 and S8 Plus. You can point your phone at a wine bottle to get a review, and stickers are just as fun as always. But the new feature is live focus, which uses the second camera to create a blur behind your subject, like portrait mode on the iPhone 7 Plus, if you will. This has been done before by many other smartphone brands. But what's nice about Samsung's take is that you can adjust the amount of blur while taking the shot and after. That means you can dial down with a quick adjustment if things look too unrealistic, which is most often the case. Just like the iPhone 7 Plus, live focus also shoots at 2x, which in the case of the former can be a problem when shooting in low light. While it might not be obvious here, these Spider-Man photos were taken under a table in a room with hardly any light, but still came out pretty good. Samsung is also introducing a feature called Dual Shot, which takes the same photo using both cameras. So if the portrait photo is not to your liking, you can click over here to get a wide angle option. Here are more photo samples taken on the Note 8. This built-in stylus, called the S Pen, is what gives the Note its name, and is what sets it apart from other big screen phones. Apart from being able to take notes or draw, the S Pen on the Note 8 can do other things. This new feature is called Live Messaging, almost like the handwriting feature on iMessage, except that it works on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Viber, Telegram, and other chat apps. Using the S Pen, you can scribble handwritten notes and can send them as GIFs. Note-taking functionality while the display is turned off has also been expanded. Just tap on the screen, scribble a note, up to 100 pages if you need to, and then when you're done, pin to your always-on display. You can also use the S Pen to translate full sentences by just highlighting them. It works the same if you need quick conversions. While Android Oreo was just announced, the Note 8 will ship with last year's Nougat. It isn't clear how soon it will get the Oreo update, but that's okay. The days of TouchWiz are behind us. The new UI, called Samsung Experience, is clean and snappy. Drop-down notification shade looks like this, app drawer looks like this, settings menu like this, and Google Assistant is a long press on the on-screen home button. The Edge screen gets some new functionality via the dual app launcher on Apps Edge. Now you can launch two apps in split screen mode at the same time. For example, if you wanted to launch Messenger and YouTube at once, just tap on the App Edge shortcut. Speaking of two apps, if you're the kind who has two Facebook or WhatsApp accounts, you can use the new Dual Messenger feature to install two copies of your favorite chat apps on the same phone. Just go into Settings, Advanced Features to turn it on. The Note 8 shares pretty much the same high-end spec sheet as the S8 Plus. That means you're getting top-of-the-line performance for every task. Depending on your region, you will either get a 10nm Exynos processor or Qualcomm's Snapdragon 835, 6GB of RAM, and a Quad HD Super AMOLED display. The only place where it seems Samsung may have skimped is with its 3300 mAh battery, which is not only smaller than last year's model, but also lower than the industry standard. That said, we still think it's the most prudent thing for Samsung to do, considering last year's battery issues. Samsung still promises improved battery life thanks to a more power-efficient chip, and it's still got the usual adaptive fast charging and wireless charging support. And if there are any concerns about exploding phones, the company promises that like the rest of its phones since the Note 7, the Note 8 has undergone a rigid 8-point battery check. So, is the Galaxy Note 8 your gadget match? To answer that question, a full review is in order, but from the looks of it, Samsung's second attempt at building its best smartphone ever is a smashing success. Like the Phoenix in its rebirth, the Note 8 has come out stronger and better. If you're looking for a sexy phone and don't care for the S Pen, get the S8 or the S8 Plus. But because it is one of just a few phones that ship with a stylus, the Note 8 is in a league of its own. Those who need a stylus for productivity will want one. Its dual camera system makes the S8's already outstanding camera even better. As a whole, the Note 8 is so complete,
it won't leave you wanting. So if you're willing to shell out some serious dough for it, then this one is a match. And that was our Samsung Galaxy Note 8 hands-on. For more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, follow Gadget Match on social media, and make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next one, from here in New York City, I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.